Welcome to Calmura Tales, your window into the mysteries of space, science, and the stories that shape our universe. Today, we're diving into a discovery that's shaking the foundations of planetary science. NASA may have just uncovered a vast underground ocean beneath the surface of Mars, one that could rewrite what we know about the red planet's history, its habitability, and even our future missions. Grab a seat. Billions of years ago, it was warm and wet, with rivers, lakes, and possibly even oceans. You can still see the signs in ancient river channels and lake beds carved across the surface. We're heading deep beneath the crust of Mars, to a hidden ocean world that may have been there all along. Mars hasn't always been the dry, dusty planet we see today. NASA's Curiosity and Perseverance rovers have uncovered minerals that form only in water, while China's Zhurong rover found evidence of ancient coastlines buried beneath the Martian surface. But here's the mystery. Where did all that water go? Or froze at the poles? But those explanations only account for a fraction of the water Mars once had. For decades, scientists thought it either escaped into space when Mars lost its magnetic field. New evidence now points to a surprising conclusion. Much of that water may have seeped underground, where it still exists today. By studying how the waves traveled through the planet's crust, scientists were able to map the interior structure of Mars, like using ultrasound to peer beneath the skin of a planet. Enter NASA's InSight lander, launched in 2018 and designed to listen for the Martian equivalent of earthquakes. This suggests those layers are filled with liquid, most likely briny water. Over 4 years, InSight recorded hundreds of seismic events, and here's where it gets interesting. Researchers discovered that seismic waves slowed down when passing through certain zones between 5 and 20 kilometers below the surface. On Earth, some of those aquifers support entire ecosystems, including microbes that live without sunlight, feeding only on chemicals in the rock. This phenomenon, known as a low-velocity layer, is often seen on Earth, where underground aquifers or magma chambers are present. Could Mars be hiding a planet-sized aquifer beneath its surface? According to research based on seismic modeling, this underground layer could hold enough water to cover the entire planet in a layer 500 to 1,000 meters deep. That's nearly as deep as Earth. So why not Mars? We're not talking about puddles or frozen reservoirs here. This is potentially a vast underground ocean trapped within porous rock and sediment. And because the temperatures at those depths can remain above freezing, even on Mars the water could stay liquid, especially if it's salty. It's even possible that life started underground and never needed to come to the surface at all. It's a Martian version of Earth's deep aquifers, which hold massive amounts of groundwater far below the surface. We only know what the seismic data is telling us. On Earth, that kind of drilling requires massive industrial rigs, advanced cooling systems, and years of work. On Mars, the challenge is multiplied by low gravity, harsh temperatures, and limited power. This raises one of the biggest questions yet. We've always wondered, was there ever life on Mars? This new discovery adds fuel to that question. If there is liquid water underground, protected from the harsh radiation on the surface, could something be living down there? And even fuel production, splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen for rocket fuel. This discovery just brought us a giant step closer. On Earth, we've discovered microbes living kilometers underground in environments completely isolated from the surface, places with no sunlight, no plants, no oxygen, just rock, water, and chemical reactions. If life could survive down there on Earth, these hidden aquifers might be the last refuge for any Martian life that may have evolved billions of years ago. But before we get too excited, remember, we haven't drilled that deep yet. Still, NASA and scientists around the world are calling this one of the strongest signs yet that Mars may still be habitable, at least beneath the surface. So now that we know this underground water exists, how do we reach it? The problem is, it's deep. Drilling 5 to 20 kilometers on Mars is no small task, but scientists have proposed a few ideas. Robotic drill missions that can probe several kilometers into the crust, thermal drills that melt through ice using heat, mini-seismic arrays placed around the planet to better map water-rich zones. In the future, human crews on Mars could set up permanent stations near water-rich areas, using underground aquifers for drinking water, farming. Access to water is the key to long-term exploration. And if we found it, what would it mean for us? Now that we know what's beneath the surface, what's next? If you enjoyed this story, Please give it a like, share it with your fellow explorers, and subscribe to Calmura Tales for more epic journeys through space, science, and the unknown. NASA plans to include seismic instruments and radar systems on upcoming missions to continue probing the crust of Mars. ESA and China are working on similar technologies. Meanwhile, the Mars Sample Return mission, launching later this decade, will bring back Martian rocks for analysis, helping us understand the planet's history of water and climate. But to truly confirm the underground ocean, we'll need something bold. Either a drilling mission that can penetrate kilometers down, or a next-gen rover equipped with ground-penetrating radar that can image these aquifers in high resolution. And who knows, within a few decades, astronauts themselves may explore these ancient water systems in person. This discovery changes how we see Mars, not as a dead, frozen world, but as a planet still hiding its secrets. Beneath layers of rock and dust, there may be liquid water, chemical energy, and even the possibility of life. For those of us dreaming of life beyond Earth, this is huge. Mars might not just be a destination for science. It could one day be a new home, with water flowing beneath our feet, ancient, untouched, and full of stories we've only just begun to uncover. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the mysteries of Mars. Let me know in the comments, do you think life could exist beneath Mars? Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and as always, keep looking up.